All right, welcome back. Wayward Souls, the double tap in 16. Sweet
Even number.
16. That's right. You know what that means, folks. We're changing it up today. We're going airing of the gratitudes. So normally this show is an airing of the grievances. What has pissed us off since the last time we did one? Today, we've always got something to bitch about, but I have to give a shout out. I have to send a little gratitude to my buddies, Travis Hearn, Jimmy Englishman, and then Adams Housing of Salisbury. You guys, fucking phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So I had a shed in my backyard. When I originally bought the house, there were 3 sheds back there. And dilapidated does not quite cover what these sheds were. So whatever's worse than dilapidated, like if you go inner city, Baltimore, burned out, like row home, it's probably still nicer than what these sheds look like. But when I bought the house, so we're going to get rid of 2. We're going to keep the nicest of the 3. And that was, it's coming up on 20 years, I bet, that I've lived here. So this shed owed me absolutely nothing. Had a bunch of vine and ivy shit growing across the roof. I tried to put a tarp across to kill it and kind of maybe save it, keep a little rain out. That didn't work. And it was just fault. Like it was who knows how old, and its time had come. And Rachel had been on me, hey, can we get rid of the shed? Hey, can we get rid of the shed? Because now with Harper running around in the backyard, like I don't need her going near it and it falling on her. So I was, sure, we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. And I keep pushing it off. Finally, I'd had enough. And I go out and I start destroying this thing. And surprisingly, when you go to tear this thing down, it was actually rather sturdy. And I was like, well, this will be fantastic. So eventually get the roof to collapse in. It had already started to. So getting the rest of it was not hard. But again, like I don't want to be pulling down these rafters and it fall down on me. So I get that down, get the roof down. And now I'm trying to wiggle it, trying to rock it, trying to beat it with a sledgehammer to get a wall in. I figure if I can get one wall in or off of it, I'm like, we're good to go. Eventually get some of it's probably 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch plywood off the side and start pulling down the wall. Next thing I know, it's completely in a pile. And I'm able to get some stuff out and create another pile. So that way, when I get some help to get it out of here, it's a little bit more manageable and it's a little more streamlined. So, of course, when I go to do all that, I don't have it set up for on this date, we're going to tear it down. On this date, I've got a trailer and people coming to get rid of it. And I no longer have a truck. So I'm like, I'll take it piece by piece, or I'll take a little bit at a time and put it in the back of the Suburban. I get this thing apart and in the backyard. I'm like, this thing ain't going in the Suburban. Not a snowball chance in hell. So then I send a text message to the dad's group that around Salisbury. Hey, you guys got a trailer? Nope. Oh, what have I done? So I talked to Rachel and her friend, Nick, our friend, Nick, his dad, Mr. Kevin Adams, owns Adams Housing in Salisbury. So if you're coming to Salisbury, you need a place to stay, give them a call. Well, they also are interested in doing like some other renovations. We had them come out and look at our kitchen to renovate it. So if you go through that little archway, it takes you back past the reading room and into the kitchen. That's not actually my house, but hey, it's my story.
I was getting ready to say reading room. Now you're stretching it a bit.
Right. We call that the bathroom. But at the end of it, they're like, hey, can we have your cabinets? Sure, I don't give a shit. So they come over, they take the cabinets out. Well, they back a dump trailer in the front yard for the cabinets. And it pops, this little light goes on hey, Adams have a dump trailer. That'll be perfect for this piece of shit shed that I'm trying to get rid of. So Rachel gets up with him. Yeah, absolutely. More than welcome to borrow it. Horrific. Like now it's all coming together. Then I text my buddies, Jimmy and Travis. Hey, what are you boys doing? I'll buy you lunch. I'll buy the beers. Whatever you want. Just come over. A little bit of work. That's all it's going to take. So get it all set up. Get back here with the trailer. And it was maybe 2 hours. 2 trips to the dump. One, it was full to the top, and we take a ride off to the dump and make the mistake. The mistake of the day is whenever you go to the dump, you don't wear shoes that you want to keep.
Yeah,
like that's part of paying the price of going to the dump is that you now owe the landfill a pair of shoes, right? So we're driving along. Get up there, get out, dump it, driving away. Like,
what is that smell?
son of a bitch. Like, well, there goes those shoes.
Yep.
So we come back, load up the trailer again, take that off. And it was at the time it was actually my good shoes, my work shoes. Like, well, that's not going to work. So we have to scrub them up. And they turn out okay. But then I wear my throwaway shoes for the rest of it, and get that thing out of here. And it's surprising how much nicer the yard looks with that thing gone.
Oh, I
like
bet.
You don't realize how bad it is.
Yeah,
with it there,
you
you're
have
like,
so much room for activities.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So, so that's my airing of gratitude for my boys. Travis, Jimmy, and Mr. Kevin. Thank you guys. Couldn't have done it. I could have. It'd have been a giant pain in the ass, but you guys made it so much easier. And then I still owe Jimmy lunch. But Travis and I, so Travis was on our shift, got moved. So it was nice to catch up, grab lunch with him, have a beer, and hang out for a little bit. So I owe it to those guys. So thank you again. Cheers, boys.
And folks, especially guys like us, it's hard for us to reach out to somebody and say, "Hey, man, I need help."
Yeah, because it was definitely one of those things. Like there was just a lot going on that day. So Harper had a little field day at daycare, and I wanted to get the shed out of there. I didn't want to like not take the guys to lunch, right? So I got back the thing in the driveway. I was like, man, I wonder if I can load this thing up and get it done before anybody else gets here, and then go to field day. And I was like, I could probably do that. And like we talked about last show, I'm not as young as I used to be. So I probably would have hurt myself, missed the field day completely, and then the guys show up and the shit that they would have given me would have been next level, because it's, you called us down here to help you and then you did it. Like, what was the fucking point?
Yep.
So
exactly right.
Had a plan. We did it. So
and it worked out great.
Yeah, it did. So what about you? What do you got for airing of the gratitudes?
You know, it's a very similar story. Obviously, I've had my shoulder worked on, and I can't do jack shit. I just can't. And the day after surgery, I come home, I look up on my roof, and there are 2 random shingles laying on my roof. What the fuck? Yeah, exactly. What the fuck? So I called Dale Short, and we're going to have Dale as a guest on here. Yes. He owns Branch Street Boards here in Berlin. He makes custom cutting boards and presentation boards. And if you've been to Sushi Cafe in Ocean City and you've gotten your sushi on a board, it's his. Yeah. So we're gonna have him on as a guest.
Yeah.
And he mills his own lumber, does all that, and I'll let him explain the rest of it when we have him on as a guest. So I call him.
Go follow Branch Street Boards on Instagram.
Yes, absolutely.
Phenomenal stuff that he's doing.
He's a Fairfax County Greer guy. So he's not always here. So I call him and I say, "Hey man, when are you back?" He said, "I'm coming back right now, as a matter of fact." And I said, "Okay, if you don't mind, swing by the house." And I've got random shingles. I can't see where they're coming from. I need your help. Again, it's hard for us to pick up the phone and make that phone call.
Yeah.
He rolls in, grabs a ladder from the double tap, up on the roof he goes. Within 30 seconds, he had the problem identified as to where it was. Part 2 of this is when we did an episode 2 episodes ago, 3 episodes, My Chimney Sweep Comes. Remember? Yeah, we're talking about that. He shows up. And again, I can't remember shit, so I forgot he was coming. So anyhow, Mr. Roger gets up on the roof. Mr. Cinders, if you need a chimney sweep, he's the man. He gets up on the roof and he says, "Hey," I can hear him. "Hey, Michael, do you know that you're missing?" "Yes, sir. My roofing guy has been contacted. He's going to call me back in the next couple of days when he has an availability, and he's going to stop by." He goes, "Do you know by chance have shingles, do you?" And I went, "Well, as a matter of fact, I do. I have cap and I have regular shingles." He goes, "I need 6 of the cap." And I said, "Okay." And he goes, "Wait a minute, you've got a bum arm. Hold on." He climbs down, comes around, goes in a double tap, gets the shingles he needs, goes to his trailer, gets out the roofing nails that he needs, climbs up on the roof, and within 10 minutes had my cap put back on.
No shit.
You talk about customer service.
Yeah.
He's a good dude anyway. He's salt of the earth. He hunts, he fishes, he does all that. He's just a good dude. He's been our chimney sweep now for probably 13 or 14 years.
Okay.
And he's a fantastic guy. He's from down in Pocomoke. He's a retired school teacher. He's fantastic.
What's his name?
And Roger Nelson.
Okay.
He was a science teacher, I want to say, at Pocomoke Middle.
Okay.
I think that's right. Fantastic guy. And within 10 minutes had my shit fixed.
Hell yeah.
And you cannot ask for anything better. So tip of the cap to both Dale and Roger for helping a brother out when he needed it the most. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah. Sounds like we have Roger on too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't like anything that we do. I'm sure he doesn't drink beer.
Yeah, I know he hunts. I know he hunts lion, loves it. So
see,
yeah, and he likes roof work apparently. So he fit right in with the truck company real easy.
Yeah, heck yeah, yeah. I was working yesterday, and we had a reported building fire in town, and I always hate when you hear on the radio that a piece of equipment is responding with the driver only. Like, what good are you? Like, unless it's a tanker. I was driving a ladder truck. What good is that ladder truck coming driver only? Like, what am I really going to get done?
Yeah.
But I was upstairs at headquarters, come running downstairs, people everywhere, try to get some people from my shift to get on the tower ladder, but they were already getting on what would be the first arriving engine. So I can't blame them for that.
Right.
Some other folks come in, "Hey, get on the tower ladder." It's now reported as a 3rd floor fire in a 3-story building. Get on the ladder truck. Now we're going to take the heavy rescue. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So there were some other people still standing at the back of the firehouse. Said, "Hey, get on, let's go." Like, right? I like to go to fires.
Yep.
I thought they would too. And I get on the radio and I said, "Chief, I have myself and these probies at headquarters. Do you want us to come with the tower?" "Yes." "Okay." So I'm getting my shit on. They come. One of them comes walking up. "We have to go to our firefighter 1 practical final tonight." "Excuse me?" "Yeah, we have to go to our practical final for Fire 1 tonight." Oh shit. Oh shit.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I did?
Yeah.
One person pulling up, walked up, "Chief, I'm sorry. I told him later. I told him what happened. He's like, "It's fine.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't really on fire." I said, "No, it's not fine. I don't like that.
No, I don't like it.
I'll not do that again." But
Yeah.
I give the kid that came up, I give him all the credit in the world, because you have somebody standing there says, "Hey, get on the fire truck. The fire siren is blowing." Like, for him to walk up and say, "We can't," like to come out and say that, like, give him some credit, right?
Yeah. Oh, sure,
Like,
sure.
because how many people like say it actually was on fire? Now we get there, and come to find out they don't have any training. Like,
Yeah.
I'd have felt worse about that. Like, I know my limits, I know my capabilities,
Mm-hmm.
but now I show up with these kids and they don't know what they're doing. Like, and now one of them get hurt.
Yeah.
So
A warm body on the apparatus isn't necessarily a good body on the apparatus.
no, right. So I give that. In the moment, I was less than happy. I was pretty heated, but coming back into the firehouse, they had already gone to class. Otherwise, I would have gone over and said something to them. But coming back and that the rest of that evening, it was like, you know what? Good for him. Like, to come up and say something to somebody like that.
Well, you know, the struggle he was having running through his OODA loop.
Oh yeah.
What to do, what not to do, what's the right thing, what's this, what's that.
Yeah. Because let's say they go to the fire. It is a fire. They don't get hurt, but then they miss their practical. Like, now all of that time for class, not that they couldn't make it up.
Reschedule a practical either.
Right. Like, we have the ability to make it happen.
Yeah.
But it's a giant pain for everybody.
Correct.
So, yeah, that was in the moment though. Oh, I was pissed. The fuck do you mean?
Happens to the best of us.
Oh yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, what's the latest with Berlin beer?
So funny story. I'm out front yesterday, and the female half, Lauren, comes down. She has her son Charlie. He's riding his bike down. They see Sir Charles outside, and of course, she's got to get dog time, which is perfectly good. Love when they come visit. And Charlie, their son, looks at Lauren and says, "Tell Mr. Hickman what Dad did yesterday." And Lauren goes, "What?" He goes, "Tell Mr. Hickman what Dad did yesterday, what Dad was doing yesterday." And she goes, so she goes over, and Charlie whispers in her ear, and Lauren just starts laughing. And she said, "Yesterday, Adam is going through the house listening to a certain podcast." So she said, "You're going to need to get Adam on the podcast."
Yeah.
I said, "We will take care of that without a doubt." She said, "What the hell are you listening to? This is him. Listen to Hickman's podcast." So that was real good. So
nice.
Part of doing the construction with Berlin Beer Company is they've had to do a utilities upgrade. And when they initially said they would be open in the spring, this wasn't disclosed to them, that they were going to need to have a new water main put in to handle the fire protection system and handle their brewing operation.
Yeah.
So they found out in March that this upgrade needed to be done, and they have done some electrical upgrades in the vicinity, and now they have to do this water main upgrade to get them the gallons that they're going to need to be able to effectively run the business and all that. They are hoping if we're shooting for a June opening, but now it's more like it's going to be in July.
Okay.
So,
all right. Yeah, I see. So I started following them after we started talking about them. and saw that kind of the same progression. Like, hey, this is when we're looking, and I know through our conversations, it looks like it got pushed back. But so that's good. July. All right. Fingers
Adam
crossed.
made a very good post. It's been probably a month ago about small victories.
Yeah.
And all that. I thought that was a very, very good post that he did explaining how things are progressing and all that. So
Yeah.
I know they've been approved for their liquor license. That just happened last week. And so it's baby steps. And when you're looking at a project of this magnitude, any progress is good, because we know that, and I'm looking at Forgotten 50, how long it took for Forgotten 50 to get up and running, with the construction, with their all their permitting, all that kind of stuff. It just takes forever. Nothing in government is fast. Nothing is. So to do what they've done in the amount of time that they've done and have it look the way it looks, holy shit. They've done a phenomenal job. And hats off to their architect, Miss Haley. You've done a great job. To the Nate Reister, the construction company, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. You just are.
Awesome. Have you been in the building?
I've been in the building, yes.
Okay, cool.
Now, the backstory to that is I lived, my first home in Berlin was Baker Street. Baker Street is 100 yards from where Berlin Beer Company is now, the old Southern States building. My neighbor, Doug and Suzanne Parks, owned Southern States. So I was a fill-in relief driver for their feed truck when they had to make deliveries, and their son Steve couldn't do it. My cousin Brian couldn't do it. I was the relief driver. I'd go drive the feed truck for him and whatnot. So I spent a lot of time in Southern States. I did a lot of shopping with them, so on and so forth. So to see that building go from what it was to what it is today is absolutely phenomenal. My hat's off to the Berlin Beer Company team for preserving that building and putting a god-awful amount of money and time and effort into it to turn it into what it's about to become. My hat's off to you folks. It is, it warms my heart. I'm not necessarily a nostalgic kind of guy, but when you have history with a building, and that building has history within the town of Berlin, to see them do what they've done to it, it's fantastic. I love it.
Awesome. Sounds like we're going to do a show from there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
I say we can do it. I think we can make that happen.
Yeah. Be fun is to get Adam and then Ian together.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
That would be. Yeah.
That'd be good.
I don't know Adam. I know Ian, and Ian's I think on the show, Ian's gonna be a little bit more reserved, but maybe we'll get a couple beers in him before, cut him loose a little bit.
You first meet Ian, and again, very reserved. All that. Fair enough. You get to know Ian, and he gets to become more comfortable with you, and he goes from that introvert. You can watch the progression. Again, another salt of the earth dude.
Absolutely. I don't know why people like that like us, but I'm fortunate and I'm glad that they do.
Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah. We were talking one day, and I don't remember how we got on it. And I was like, Ian, man. He's like, I was like, I like you. I was like, you're gonna do all right. I like working with you. You do a great job. He's like, yeah, I could kind of tell. I was like, you got to kind of tell what? He's like, well, I know you didn't dislike me. I was like, yeah, that's a fact. He said, that's pretty easy to tell. I was like, you're not wrong.
Was the erection a dead giveaway, or what was it?
It was cold. He couldn't tell anyway. I was wearing a hoodie, wearing my job shirt. So he couldn't tell anyway.
Good. You're able to tuck it in your belt and hide it with the job shirt.
Yeah, perfect. I didn't even need to. It didn't even make it to the belt, so don't worry about it.
No, that cold.
Yeah. Well, and it's just a little white guy.
Yeah. White and Irish, man. White and Irish.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that'll be good. I think we try and get in there one day. As a fun fact, coming up next week for recording purposes, we've got the one and only Gringo coming on.
Yes, looking forward to that.
Yeah. And as much as I'm looking forward to having Gringo come on, I'm looking more forward to the Cuban that's coming with him. The Cuban sandwich. To be clear.
Just to be clear.
Yeah. Just so we clear that up.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be. Yeah. That's going to be something else.
Yeah. I just salivated. It seems to be a theme with us. We talk about food and I salivate. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Or you're like, damn, I got to go make that now.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
It sucks. I keep a running list of things that I need to make. And I have a list in my refrigerator, actually, because it's being retired. Jennifer's still working. I want to make dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like doing the same things over and over and over and over again. So I keep a running list on the refrigerator. And as I go along, faster than I can cross them off, I add to the bottom. It's like our show list. Of ideas. The more we're getting out there and the more people are interacting with us, the longer our list gets.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing.
Nope.
Not a bad thing at all.
Not at all. Yeah. What's the next one on the list for you to make?
I actually pulled an elk loin out of the freezer. A good friend of mine went elk hunting. Came home. He said, "Would you be interested in some elk meat?" And hi, we've met. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I have. I've had the steaks. They're again. It's a wild game. The fat content's not real high in them. They only run about 7%. So it takes a creative cooking method. Fantastic. Talk about farm to table and organic and all that. You can't beat it. So anyway, I have about a 2-pound loin section out, and not 100% sure how we're going to do it yet. Thinking marinating and putting it on the egg.
Yep.
So we will see how that turns out. It's currently in the thawing process right now. So I think that's going to be next.
Now my mouth's watering. Thanks.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. It's been the kind of thing where I've been just trying to decide what to do with it, and I think I'm going to go with the marinating an egg.
Yeah. That sounds fantastic. I got to reach out to my neighbors for that lamb roast. Got to set a date to get that going. Just like it's like the big thing that you don't want to do, like tearing the shed down. You don't really want to do it, but I have at some point I have to do it. I have to rip the Band-Aid off. Yeah. So I figure if I reach out to them, we set a date. And just like, hey, let's thaw it by this day. We'll cook it this day. Yep. Yeah. Otherwise, they're just going to keep pushing it off.
We've had the lamb discussion before, and it's the same as we discussed with the brisket on previous episode. You just have to do it.
Yep.
And it will probably turn out much better than you expect and a much easier process than you expect.
Yeah. Oh,
but you have to just take that leap of faith.
Yeah, that's the one thing, and I know we've talked about it before in our shows, is everything that we do, like, it's not as hard, and it turns out better than what you were originally thinking.
Yeah.
Like we talked about with brisket, pulled pork, like, yes, it's an investment into a huge piece of meat. Yeah. And it's expensive.
Yep.
But you're not going to screw it up. So
that's right. The deep fried prime rib.
Right?
Yeah.
And you just got to get yourself a cooking grade pitchfork.
God,
because then
yeah, exactly right. And coveralls, because the guy was wearing coveralls when he did it. Holy shit!
Yeah. I can imagine that. No shirt, coveralls, probably a Bud Heavy hat, maybe even a Bud Heavy like in the little pouch right here.
Yep.
and barefoot, dunking a pitchfork of prime rib into a fryer. That should be our attire for shows.
It should be. Funny story. I know we're close on time, but funny story.
It's our show. We do it all the time.
So folks have noticed my weight loss, and it's intentional. I'm not sick. I wanted to drop weight for my exactly. Well, I wanted to drop weight for my surgery, make recovery easier, make all that. Plus, general health wise, I needed to drop some weight, so I did. Mm-hmm. Part of this weight process was I bet Jennifer that as of my surgery day, I would weigh exactly what she weighed or a pound less. My goal was to weigh what she weighed. And let me just preface it with this. That was unrealistic on my part. Just was, but it was motivation for both of us to continue with our journey that we're doing. So my wife has a pair of Carhartt bibs, denim overalls, hillbilly attire.
Yeah.
And she pulled them out and I washed them and they were sitting out. So as a joke, I put them on and they fucking fit. And when I say they fucking fit, dude, they fucking fit great. So I stroll out of the laundry room wearing her Carhartts. And I could see the look on her face. And bless her heart, if you know my wife, you know she's one of the nicest people in the world.
Yep.
She was so supportive. She was so complimentary, the whole 9 yards, but I could see it pissed her off in her face. But she had nothing but good to say. You look fantastic. I can't believe they fit you. But I could see the holy shit, he's wearing my fucking clothes look.
Yeah.
I have to double down my efforts, Yeah. So I let it passes. We're at dinner with my mom, and she said, "Your son wore my coveralls. He looked fantastic, all this kind of stuff." And I said, "That bothered you, didn't it?" She goes, it killed me. It absolutely killed me.
Yeah.
And because I realized that it was actually a reality that you might weigh what I weigh or a pound less than me at your surgery day. Now, just to be clear, I got to within like 8 or 9 pounds of her. And that's, by surgery day, that's where I was, which I missed my actual goal by a couple pounds, but I didn't crush her spirit anymore by weighing less than her. So it was actually a win for me. You know what I mean?
And that was probably one of the few times she told you to get out of her pants.
Right. Another funny story. Facebook had been out a couple of years, and I made a post about being able to get into Jennifer's jeans. And it got 120 some comments on this thing. It turned into, I made a comment, made a post about it, and it turned into violence. That if it got over 100 comments, Jennifer would kick my ass.
Love it.
And my friends, they were just starting to comment, "This is post 88. This is post 89. This is post 90." That's all they're saying.
You gotta love your friends.
120 some posts. And so I went dark for like a day. And everybody's commenting, "Oh my God, she really kicked his ass. He's not on Facebook right now," all this kind of shit. So again, it's all fun and games to get your ass kicked because you got into your wife's jeans.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that day I put them on and they fit. So
yeah. Hey, airing of the gratitudes. Congrats.
Absolutely. Facts.
Well, so we're going to wrap the show up here because that seems like a great point to cut it off.
Yep.
So thank you for joining us. A little different today, airing of the gratitudes. we're going to see what happens. If we like the gratitudes, if we like the grievances, maybe it'd be a combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
When one of the things that Mike and I were talking about when we were talking about starting this podcast is we want something that is going to take the bucket of shit that you have to carry around with you and will help take, if we can't dump it out, that you can take a scoop out so that if there's more shit that comes along, that you can deal with it. So if the airing of the grievances does that, if the airing of the gratitude, whatever it is, if it's talking about cooking, if it's talking about hunting, fishing, whatever it is, that's our goal of this show. So, we're going to, as you can tell, we're going to be all over the place. If you don't like what we're talking about, like we said last show, give us 5 minutes. We'll talk about something else.
Yep.
But that's part of the goal of this show. One is just to have a good time, have a couple laughs, and then two, help you unload your bucket of shit. So yeah, we hope you enjoyed the show. If you have something for us, if you have a grievance, you have a gratitude, whatever it is,
give us your shit.
Yeah, give us your shit. We want it. I love it. That's going to be a sticker.
Yep.
Now you got me bogged down. Send us your gratitudes. Send us your grievance. Give us your shit. Whatever you want to hear, waywardsouls88@gmail.com. You can reach out to us on Spotify through the show little thing, the comments. You can reach out to us on our social media, which is in the comments under the show. However you can get up with us, we want to hear from you and how we can help and what you want to hear on the show. So again, thanks for everybody that was tuning in and joining us, and we hope you're having a great time. And we'll see you next time.